Hey guys, it's your girl Pixie and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Pixie's World. If not, welcome back. Today's video is about Degrassi. Hashtag it goes there. So I had to too. But before we get into the video guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on all my other social media platforms. Okay guys, this video has been long overdue. Wasn't sure if I should make this video or how to make this video, but the 90s baby in me had to. When I think about my nostalgic moments, this show has got to be on the top of the list. If you are in my time era, you cannot get away from hearing about this show. This show was everywhere when I was a kid, and it wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. So let's get into it. I know most of you guys are familiar with Degrassi, Next Generation. But did you know that there was a previous generation of Degrassi, Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High? I'm just going to take a second to talk about them because I know most of you came here for the Next Generation. But let's take a second to look at how Next Generation came to be. It starts off with the OG cast of Degrassi Junior High, who later on becomes parents, guardians, and leaders to the Next Generation. The series starts off with the kids of Degrassi in high school. The main characters are Caitlin Ryan, Archie Snake Simpson, Raditch, who's a teacher and later becomes a principal in the Next Generation, Joey Jeremiah, Lucy, and Christine Spike Nelson, aka Emma's mom. Spike becomes pregnant in the high school, and the Next Generation becomes centered around her, daughter Emma, and filling the gaps of what happened the last time we saw the OGs of Degrassi. The first few seasons give us a timeline of the OGs while making room for the new kids on the block. Degrassi Junior High and High have a lot of other characters, but they are the main ones who later follow us. In Junior High and High, they go through trials and tribulations as young adults, displaying a lot of issues that happen while trying to navigate in this world. Like the Next Generation, the previous generation goes through serious issues, but you can see the evolvement of how things were handled then compared to how they are handled now. Pregnancy, abortion, S-word, drugs are issues covered in the previous generation amongst others, but you see the issues taken to new heights later. Characters in the Degrassi Junior High and High date and make certain decisions, and we go on to see the aftermath of some questions that were left unanswered. They go from junior high into high school. We don't really see how the senior year goes, but they give us a special on their last summer of high school before they head off to college, which they turn into a movie, Degrassi Schools Out. Boy, was they wild, but nothing would prepare us for how much wilder it gets in the Next Generation to come. The Next Generation fills in some blanks for us about the OGs. As mentioned, some are parents, guardians, and mentors to the new students in the Next Generation. The main focus now is on the new kids, hence the title Degrassi Next Generation. I'm not going to get too much into the OGs of Degrassi, but I do want to acknowledge it in case some of you didn't know about it. I would highly recommend watching it, and I give it 10 stars. It makes more sense how the adults came into play in the Next Generation and the roles they play as adults and how they became who they are if you watch their story. I leave you with one of their most infamous moments and give them their credit with this song.
Everybody wants something, they'll never give up. Everybody wants something, they'll take your money and never give up.
Now let's get into it. The Next Generation, like the previous, tackles the struggles of being teenagers, but the problems are way more intense this time. Hashtag it goes there. Let's take a walk through Degrassi halls. Degrassi covers every issue. If you are a 90s baby, a teenager, or a young adult around this era, then you know Degrassi is nostalgic like a motherfucker. Hashtag we had to be there. I literally watched this series in its entirety about 3 to 4 times. During COVID is when I had a chance to really watch it and catch things I missed or didn't understand before. As I will watch it again, 10 stars. Honestly, Degrassi is a rewatch, being as though the series is so long. As I mentioned, after rewatching it, there will be so many things you pick up on and make sense. Though I have watched Degrassi before, I really started watching it fully when I was pregnant with my daughter Eli. And I swear she got her name from me binge watching this show. The show had already been out for years, but I would catch bits and pieces. enough to keep up but still not know everything that was going on. But when I became pregnant, I clearly had a lot of more time on my hands. I watched it once more during the COVID. Boy, was I entertained. And I surely missed a lot, even after watching it multiple times. Degrassi is like Christmas. It's a gift that keeps on giving and giving. Degrassi is so popular even to this day that it is still available for free on multiple platforms. You have to have time on your hands to really get into it and enjoy this series. But it's worth it. Degrassi literally is the shit. There are 14 seasons of Next Generation. Then they have a sequel, Next Class, which is about 4 seasons. Till this day, Degrassi has a huge fan base and has been off the air since 2019. Warning, you will get hooked. Degrassi will live in your mind rent-free and you will be dreaming and thinking about the series for months. It's a Canadian series which, as I mentioned, stems from Degrassi Junior High, then goes to Degrassi High and leads to a film, Degrassi Schools Out, with the OG cast. The new series, as mentioned, starts with Spike, Emma's daughter, and eventually phases out all of the old characters, introducing new ones. Seasons 1 through 9 are about 22 episodes. Seasons 10 to 13 are about 40 to 45 episodes. It starts out yearly and then goes into semesters, stemming to the next class. Degrassi starts out with 7th and 8th graders mainly, and as we go on, multiple characters and grades are added. Let's meet the characters. In grade 7, we have Emma Nelson, Manny Santos, JT York, Toby Isaacs, Liberty Van Zant, Sean Cameron. In grade 8, we have Ashley Kerwin, Paige Michael Chet, Gavin Mason, a.k.a. Spinner, Terry McGregor, and Jimmy Brooks, a.k.a. Drake. In season 2, we have grade 9, Craig Manning, Ellie Nash, Marco DeRossi, and Hazel Aden. In season 3, we meet Jay Hogarth, Alex Nunez, Rick Murray, and Dylan, Paige's older brother. In season 4, Darcy Edwards, Shantae Black, Danny Van Zant, Liberty's little brother. In season 5, we meet Peter Stone, Derek Herrick. Something happens to Degrassi's rival school in season 6, and the students from there are forced to attend Degrassi, introducing us to some new characters. Damian Hayes, Johnny DeMarco, Mia Jones, Claire Edwards, Darcy's little sister. Season 7, we have Holly J. Sinclair, Jane Vaughn, Anya McPherson, Sav Bendari, John Herman. In season 8, we have Leah Chang, Casey Guthrie, Connor DeLaurier. The glow up was real. Ali Bandori, Sav's little sister, Riley Stravels, Blue Check Sex. Irrelevant as hell. Season 9, we have Declan and Fiona Coyne, the twins, Jenna Middleton, Dave Turner, Wesley Bentecup, and Zane Park. Season 10, Eli Girlsworthy, the reason we are all here. Adam and Drew Torres, brother and brother, or brother and sister. Adam is the Degrassi's first transgender. Bianca D'Souza, Owen Milligan, and Marisol Lewis. Season 11, Imogen Marino, Katie Matlin, Jake Martin, the new grade of Niners, Maya Matlin, Katie's little sister, Zig Novak, Tori Santa Maria, Tristan Milligan, Owen's little brother, who was ashamed of him because Tristan is gay, and Owen was super homophobic and teased a lot of the gay characters early on. Season 12, Becky and Luke Baker, Mike Dallas, Campbell Sanders, poor Campbell. Season 13 has Zoe Rivas, Miles Hollingsworth III, literally becomes the GOAT of the next class. Frankie and Hunter Hollingsworth, all 3 of them are siblings. Grace Cordonal, Jack Jones, Winston Chu, Dion Bell, better known as Tiny. Season 4 is Lola Pacini, Shay Powers, and Jonah Hawk. If you haven't noticed, they introduce a character and later on introduce us to their younger siblings. In some cases, they introduce us together like Fiona and Declan, who are twins, or all the Hollingsworth kids who are all different ages. Degrassi next class consists of Maya, Zig, Zoe, Tristan, Miles, Winston, Frankie, Hunter, Grace, Tiny, Lola, Shay, and Jonah. We continue to the next class, but we are introduced to some new characters. Baz Nair, Yale Barron, VJ Moraj, Goldie, Nair, Baz's sister, and Esme Song. Season 3 cast is Saad I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Saad Ali Maliki, and Raja Zuwabi. Now that that's out the way, let's move along. Degrassi shows very great character development. Most monsters in the beginning you later grow to love. Characters including, but not limited to, Spinner, Holly J, Bianca, Zoe, Sean, Fiona, and Eli. Did I mention I really love Eli? Degrassi includes a genre of dramatic things that go on in the life of a teenager, including different backgrounds and race, LGBT, mental illness, racism, transgenders, depression, the S word, theft, violence, cancer, gang affiliation, teacher/student relations, drug, physical illness, sexual assault, and more. While showing a lot of problems, Degrassi cared about sending a positive message. It's evident that they did a lot of research while executing the characters' storylines. They show the struggles and the consequences of decisions being made by the characters, whether good or bad. We all have been there, so I think you can relate when I say that high school seems so damn crucial at the moment. But if you haven't, high school can really be life-altering. Degrassi gives insight to the struggles that sometimes we aren't aware of or only think can happen as adults. This is an eye-opener to anyone who has a naive mindset. Guys, while some of us are having tiny problems like acne or asking a guy or girl out to a dance or making a basketball team, a lot of your peers are dealing with some really rough battles and don't have anyone to talk to. Me, myself, had a rough time in high school. Well, not as rough as the cast of the Degrassi characters. High school and growing up can be a bitch. Music in Degrassi has been an important staple since the beginning of Degrassi. Degrassi's junior high big band was the Zit Remedy, later changed to their name into just the Zits as they got older. The band starred Joey, Snake, Wills. Remember the song I played earlier?
Everybody wants something, they'll never give up.
Yes, that was their theme song. At first I thought the song was weird, and then it became catchy. In Degrassi's Next Generation, you can catch them referring to the song a lot in the first few seasons.
Two heads that match our bowling balls. And to old friends. Cheers. Cheers.
They'll never give up. Everybody wants something. They'll take your money and never give up. Everybody wants something. They'll never give up. Everybody wants something. They'll take your money and never give up.
When I first watched this, I didn't understand why they kept singing it. But after watching the OG Degrassis, it made sense. While watching the OGs isn't super necessary, it connects some of the dots. Next Generation and Next Class continues the legacy of music throughout the seasons with many talents. You have Ashley in the PMS. You have Ashley later becomes a solo artist. Her music is kind of vampy, and at one point while performing and getting booed, Aubrey Graham, aka Drake, steps in to rap to save her, changing the audience's attitude of the music. Craig Manning is the primary musician from seasons 3 to 6. He's a guitar boy. Good music from Craig. Keep in mind at some point he was going through a addiction. And you know what they say, some of the greatest music is created while under the influence. Downtown Sasquatch is Craig's band. Craig, Jimmy, Marco, and Spinner. They get rid of Spinner and they replace him with Ellie. Hell Have No Fury. Ellie, Ashley, Paige, Hazel. The Stoods. Peter, Sav, Spinner, and Danny. Later on, they kick Peter out of the group for having a meth addiction, and they replace him with Jamie. Next, we have Jenna. Then we have the three tenors, Dave, Wesley, and Connor. They're nerds who want to be cool, so they come up with a band. Dave has a bad voice, and they auto-tune him in the song. It turns out pretty good. Auto-tune became a huge staple in music around that time. We have Whisper Hug with Mo, Maya, Zig, Adam, and Imogen, Becky, Jonah, Maya. Another huge element was the theme songs.
Wake up in the morning feeling shy and lonely. Gee, I gotta go to school. I don't think I can make it, don't think I can take it. I'm wondering what I'm gonna
Degrassi Junior High was a good song. Degrassi's Next Generation and Next Class has a song, Whatever It Takes. They changed the styles of the theme songs throughout the seasons. In my opinion, the original one is the best. Music theater also plays a big part in Degrassi. There was one play originally directed by Eli and Becky where they do a rendition of Romeo and Juliet, but instead making it Romeo and Jules, starring two gay male actors. Becky is homophobic and isn't happy with this, so she quits the play. This escalates into one of the most iconic lines in the whole show.
I quit.
Look, the only thing that has changed is that it's two gay guys. Big whoop. It's no reason to quit.
You don't get it. I can't be part of something that depicts an alternative lifestyle choice as normal.
Wow, you're serious.
You are the sun, the moon in the night. You are my everything, everything.
This isn't right.
Welcome to Degrassi.
Another spring, another fall.
Then you have Degrassi movies. Degrassi High School, School's Out. Degrassi Next Generation has Degrassi Goes to Hollywood, Degrassi Takes Manhattan, and Degrassi Don't Look Back. Degrassi Goes Hollywood, Marco and Ellie help Paige get into a role into a play. Meanwhile, Ellie reconnects with Craig, unfortunately. Manny blows in an audition and road trips to LA with the Stooges for a second chance. In this movie, we say goodbye to Paige, Marco, Ellie, and Craig. Degrassi Takes Manhattan. Spinner finds out that Jane cheated on him with Declan and breaks up with her. Jane then decides to accompany Declan, Fiona, and Holly J to New York for the summer. Janie arrives to New York and immediately gets a job as a lead in a rock band. Holly J interns at a TV station in New York. Her and Fiona are feuding for whatever reason, and in order to get attention, this results into Fiona kissing Declan, her own twin brother. Emma blows up the dot, and her and Jay and Manny take Spinner to Niagara Falls to cheer him up. Emma and Spinner get drunk and accidentally get married. They decide that they are in love and don't want to annul the marriage. To anyone who's a true Degrassian and watched this to this point, this plot is totally ridiculous and left field because Emma and Spinner barely have any interaction throughout the whole series. But I guess they end up getting real life married, but not before Manny and Jane get into a girl fight. Degrassi Don't Look Back transitions between season 14 of Next Class into the beginning of Next Generation into the beginning of Next Class. A girl gets kidnapped and so does Maya. The girl's boyfriend is behind this, trying to get ransom money so him and his girlfriend can run away. Zoe becomes a lesbian, and Miles and Tristan have their thing. TV promos. Regular promos until season 10. Then they start creating experiences with the promos. Start off kinda in mini music videos. Series plants clues for the storylines in the coming seasons. None of the original cast is left except Snape. New introductions for a new season and characters to revive interest. They make these videos for season 10, 11, 12, and 14, excluding season 13. Degrassi has a lot of guest star experiences. Okay, now, my favorite characters. It's kinda in order. from least favorite to favorite. Ali Bandora. Unlike most characters, I went from liking her to not liking her. Rather, I became bored. I liked her boldness and her unapologetic she was. She went after what she wanted, and in the end, she kind of faded and became kind of irrelevant. Next, we have Claire Edwards. Unpopular opinion. Most people from what I've watched in other videos don't like her, but I do, and I loved her character development. She went from being a naive, bratty little sister who didn't know her place to a solidified, strong, achieving, mature young lady. Her struggles made her go from boring to quite interesting, especially her and Eli's mess. I was really here for their mess though. Claire has many mixed reviews. Some are Team Claire, some are not. But I'm Team Claire. Especially Team Claire and Eli. Fiona Coyne. I love the message that you have. I love the message that you can have all the money in the world and still never be satisfied. Fiona was a rich girl who was gorgeous, but an attention seeker who had a lot of insecurities. She struggled with a drinking addiction, letting us viewers know that just because you have it all doesn't mean you have it all. She dealt with a lot and did a lot of dumb things to get attention, most times attracting the wrong attention. She learned to become a person with substance and not just a person with money. Loved her development and her growth. Zig Novaz. First of all, let me say Zig was fine as hell. Zig at first is a regular average student, and he becomes this bad boy and gets affiliated with a gang. He also becomes homeless at one point. At first, the bad boy image was annoying and it seemed unnecessary, but the series shows us why he had to be who he was. At first glance, you can assume that Zig had it all, but it was furthest from the truth. He had major financial and family issues, but later becomes homeless. He kind of seems better off dealing with his own shit. While being in his own, he sees the repercussions of living the way he is, and he turns over a new leaf and starts living better. He went from innocent to bad to great. Love him. Zoe Rivas. Surprisingly, she made the cut on this list because when she first was introduced to us, I just could not with her. She was a fake-ass Hollywood mean girl, and I kind of felt like she wasn't needed on the show. But then she turned into a sweet girl and a boss bitch. Her struggle turned her into a great character. Zoe displays what it is like to be a mean girl that goes through shit and basically gets humbled real bad. In the end, I ended up really liking her, and she showed a lot of compassion and care for her friends. Next, we have Gavin Mason, aka Spinner. What a joke. At first, I wasn't having it with his shit. But yo, they put him through a lot of shit. Like a lot of it. Cancer, getting cheated on, having his friends completely cut him off for seasons. That man went through a lot. But I can't just say that he didn't deserve it. More so, karma was kicking his ass. He started off super mean, insensitive to his friends, and a bully. He went through a lot of identity issues. Later growing and evolving. Later, he ended up with great friends, a great girlfriend, being in a band, and being an owner of the Dot. The fact that he got married to Emma, I don't know about that, but I'm not mad at him. And if you pay attention closely, Spinner really got all the bitches. Just look at his dating history. He had them all. Maya Matlin. I love how they started off with her kind of nerdy, and then she had a major glow up, turning her into this kind of edgy, cool person and not afraid to be her. I love how realistic they made her character, showing that no matter how much you develop, we all have our shit with us. And life is a battlefield growing up. Also, I love that they turned her pain into music, resulting in a pure talent and success. Maya was weird and she had a boyfriend that committed the S word. She was unapologetic about her pain and understandably went through her motions, overcoming them. Craig Manning, one of Degrassi's biggest talents who went on to be a success. Craig had bipolar disorder and suffered from a father who was physically abusing him. Craig was a danger to himself and others. I like how well written his character was. Definitely entertaining to watch. His depth, his layers, and his complexity was outstanding. Maybe one of the best written characters. I love how they made him sexy while also making him problematic because we often think that the cute, cool guy is perfect. Craig was a hot ass mess and all over the place. Between his love triangle with Manny and Ashley, getting Manny pregnant, wanting to disappear and run away with his sister, being S-word, being bipolar and daddy issues, he had a lot going on. Craig got help and was mad talented. He ended up being a super successful later on in the show. The actor who played him did an outstanding job. Miles Hollingsworth. Though he was often an a-hole, I loved his "it's my world and you're just living in it" attitude. Plus, I love how confident he was being him. Often, he could be very jerky, but he also could be very caring and understanding. Miles just did him and was not apologizing for it. Miles was it for real. He would be quick to call you on your shit, but he would also be bold enough to call out his own shit. A major GOAT to me. Great character development, and he was a cutie. Manny Santos. It's crazy how your reputation can really put a damper on your character. They don't emphasize enough how much of a ride or die she was, especially for Emma. Manny made some poor or thoughtless decisions, but she was a great person and a great friend. She had character, charm, charisma, and was really that bitch. And her glow up was real over the years. Manny took a lot of shit from people. She was the slut shame. She was the most slut shamed character, and it's sad because most of the people were responsible for exploiting her. She had a lot of embarrassing circumstances, but she got to shine in the end. She always went for what she wanted. One of the most underrated characters, in my opinion. She's lit. She's literally the poster child for Degrassi, the real OG of Degrassi Next Generation, the representation of what Degrassi was. And we can't forget about one of the most iconic episodes in Degrassi, You Got the Look.
A thong.
What? It's perfect.
What do you think? I think they shouldn't sell this at the mall.
Boy, you better dig deeper, 'cause I tell you I'm all gamed out. Truth is gonna come hit you hard, and you know what I'm talking about. So just try shaming me one more time.
I mean, this whole thing is just weird, man. I've known Manny since I was about 4.
Last year was hot older women. This year it's hot younger ones. So what?
You're right. So what? So I like her. Big deal. I mean, it's not like she's become a totally different person.
Get right this time, or it's back up the line. That's my final word, don't doubt it. Get right this time, 'cause you carry light. You'll be doing without it. Get right this time, or take it outside and don't come until you found it. Get right this time, you're gonna find
Eli's gold worry. Now, I know I just hyped the heck out of Manny, and you may think she was my favorite, when she comes close, but I have to give it to Eli. He was my absolute favorite character. Like Manny, literally the representation of the next generation of Degrassi. He was the new kid on the block as the series continued, and he started introducing new characters. Eli had bipolar disorder, but he was who he wanted to be without excuses and apologies. Y'all had to clear the way for Eli, because he was definitely coming through. He dominated them halls of Degrassi, and he got really involved in the extracurricular activities. I was here for all of Eli's bullshit. And binge watching all of it. So much so, Eli Goldsworthy inspired me to name my daughter Eli Marie. So I gotta make a toast to Eli. Here's some honorable mentions who I did like a lot and had great character development. Holly J and Bianca De Souzy. And I can't make a video without mentioning the couples, hookups, and love triangles. Child, there were a lot of them. Friends dating friends exes, boyfriends cheating, boyfriends stealing, hookups, flirting, fights over each other, unexpected romances, some cute, some not, and even some unexpected marriages. A lot of pairing made sense, while some came out of left field. But that's Degrassi for you. Hashtag it goes there. Now, I'm not about to sit here and go through all the couples, because the video is long enough and I can make a whole video on just the couples alone. But I definitely had to mention it, being as though that's where most of the drama stem from. Degrassi is highly recommended. 10 out of 10 stars. I know most of you have seen a lot of Degrassi and kind of know the basics. But if you haven't seen this video in its entirety, I highly suggest it. But I warned you before, you will get hooked. As much as I want to go through every detail of Degrassi, we will be sitting here until we're 80 years old. And I don't want to give too much away. I think I've already said enough. Watch this on your own and come holler at me in the comments. If you do want a separate video about the shit that went down, please leave some comments and I will surely do it. Also, there are so many YouTubers that really get into it. Thank you guys for watching. You already know what I'm going to say next. Please pray to God. Please protect your peace. And I'll see y'all in the next one.